morning. It's morning time. It's morning time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's morning time. Come on in, man. Come on in, man. We're going to start the show. We're going to start the show, man. We're going to start the show. All fire thumbnail this morning, man. Fire thumbnail this morning. Yeah, man. Fire thumbnail this morning. Podcasted Monday morning. Ooh, we hot in here this morning. Come on in, man. I'm happy to be here. You happy to be here? Oh, my goodness. We happy to be here, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Come on in, man. As you come on in, you know what to do, man. We're going to be first in the chat, man. I'm shouting you out. First in the chat, getting shouted out. As you come in, double tap, hit the like, share, and subscribe, man. We're going to get a poll up in a minute, man. You know, man, stay up, man. But you know how we started off. Back at it like a crack at it. Automatic like a fomatic, built from tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last, and it's going. It's going real fast, so we're going to do this with a blast. My name is Perfect, from an OG perspective, top of the mid-morning podcast, and we got Trump news again this morning. Trump news, and you can tell right now, every time I come on the screen, I'm fired up and ready to go. If you at home and you watch it right now, you got to get your Trump hands going early, man. As you come in, man, double tap, hit the like, share, and subscribe, man. Let's get the 100 likes up real quick. Let's get the show out to everybody as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying, man? But I need you to come in, man, fired up and ready to go, man. Everybody fired up and ready to go. Fired up and ready to go. That's how we coming at it this morning, man. Nice and shiny, nice and crisp, nice and fresh. Yeah, man. So fresh and so clean. That's how we coming in this morning, man. That's how we coming in this morning, man. Top of the mid-morning podcast from an OG perspective. You know what I'm saying? Vertical live. Let's go, man. We going in, man. Let's go, man. We going in vertical live from an OG perspective, man. And you see that fire thumbnail. We got a fire thumbnail. Every day, fire thumbnail. We got a fire topic this morning. Trump tariffs. Flip the script. Don't nobody tease me. Who? Nancy. Who is that? Nancy Poirier Burris. Hello. Number one in the chat. Nancy, number one in the chat. Honda Boy, number two in the chat. What's up with you? Salute to you, Honda Boy. A salute to you, Nancy. Honda Boy, what you think about them CVT transmissions, man? Because we're going to talk about the Japanese imports, man. We're going to talk about Japan tariffs. We're going to talk about the EU bilateral summit in Scotland right now. It's being spin all type of... a lot of people in the spin zone this morning. They talking about a golf trip. As y'all come in the chat, who is that? Marty Seller, Honda Boy. Hey, everybody double tap, hit the like, show some love. And as you come in, show some love to somebody else in the chat. Say salute, say what's up to the chat, man. That's how we do it over here, man. Everybody show love to everybody. Everybody support everybody in the chat. As you come in, say what's up to somebody in the chat. You hear that? She said, hi. Come on, man. CVT, I got one. I hated that. I've been researching the Hondas. That's why I had to ask the Honda Boy, because Hondas changed to the CVT transmission. That is such a pertinent question. I'm glad you're in the chat today, because we're going to talk about Japan. We're going to talk about Japan. We're going to talk about the Japanese tariff agreement that Japan agreed to. Everybody seemed to be happy except everybody who hate Trump. Double tap, hit the like, share, and subscribe. I need everybody watching right now to hit the like button. We don't got enough like. Look at the love, man. Thank you for the love, man. Thank you for the love, man. Send that love back to everybody in the chat, man. It's Monday morning. Everybody fresh up. Everybody starting the week. You know what I'm saying? School going to be coming back, so I know everybody's the last days of summer. So everybody spread the love in the chat. Everybody know, let's have a good day, because it is one of the last days of summer. We coming into August. We coming into September. School starting back. So let's fire it up and let's talk about it. We talking about Donald Trump and the Trump tariffs this morning, and we talking about the Trump tariffs working across the board. Trump tariffs, flip the script, Honda Boy in the building. So off the bat, we talking about the Japanese deal that was made. We got a bilateral summit going on right now in Scotland. We got a brand new EU trade deal. I mean, everything is up, man. Everything is beautiful. Everything is up. It's Trump, Trump, Trump. Everybody, come on, man. Everybody fired up in the chat, man. More likes, more likes, more likes. Everybody, man, double tap, like. Everybody, double tap, like, share, subscribe, chat. Let me know what you think about the Trump tariffs. Let me know what you think about Trump news today, because it's all over the news. The number one trending topic today is what's evident about the fact that, oh, and I love how the narrative has shifted. You know how the narrative, last week it was all about the conspiracy theories and I want a list and all this. But you know what I talked about? You know what? I kept bringing it back home. I kept bringing it back home to kitchen table politics. I said, how much are you paying for eggs? How much are you paying for bread compared to only 6 months ago? Only 6 months ago, how much were you paying for eggs? Today's topic is so pertinent and relevant to this channel. A lot of people have negative comments and a lot of negative things to say about the news and the perspective that I present on this channel. I love days like today when you have evidence, not only evidence from the Dems, but evidence from the stock market, evidence from things I've talked about, from steel manufacturing. I'm going to show you data. I'm going to show you quotes. We talked about when did Walmart come to your town? We talked about plants. We talked about people working in plants and having pensions. And now I have data that since the tariffs have been instituted, we have steel manufacturing going up. If you look and read my description, what you will see in my description, let's get the intelligence. Who came in? We got Kendall C. Shout out to Kendall C. Everybody coming in the building. Like, share, subscribe, double tap. Thank you for the love. Share the love in the chat, man. Right now, what we have happening is amazing in America. It's called MAGA. It's called America First. It's called Make America Great Again. And it's also called making the Democrats do their job, baby. Get on your job. This is what I love about President Trump. Amidst all of the it's a great example for young Americans. President Trump is a great example for young Americans. Somebody who already won the game. Multi-billionaire. Vandal in the building. Okay, I'm on board. Vandal in the building. Somebody who already made billions of dollars. We got More Free. Shout out to More Free. I love live. Finally, another Republican YouTuber. Let's talk about it. Hit the like button. Don't just say it. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Let's get this message out here, man. We moving slow on a Monday morning, man. We need more likes, man. We need more likes. If you don't know how to like, double tap, hit the like. There's 3 ellipses in the top right-hand corner. Hit that 3 ellipses, and then it'll tell you can hit the like. Because most people watching me on the cell phone, and they over 50 years old. So all the OGs, if you don't know how to like the live stream, double tap the screen, baby. Double tap the screen, baby. And at the top of it, if you don't know what ellipsis is, you just learned something on the Perfect Timing Podcast. If you don't know what an ellipsis is, you just learned something on the Perfect Timing Podcast. Top right-hand corner, man. 3 little dots. You probably never hit them 3 dots before. You never knew what they was for. I'm going to tell you what they for today. They said to like the video, to more people to watch the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe. My name is Perfect. We talking about Trump news today. Trump tariffs, More Free, Temu Gray. What's up, everybody? Temu, I ain't never ordered from Temu, man, but I'm excited to order from Temu. We're talking about Trump tariffs today, man. We're talking about Trump tariffs winning, man. That's all we do every day. Win, 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 win. Hit the like and share, subscribe, man. We getting this message out there, man. Trump is love. Trump is life. Well, let everybody know then, Shanta. Let everybody know then, man, because what inspired today's podcast is I went to my what do you got? What you got? Robinhood? I don't know what you got, but the truth is that while last week distraction was going on, like the Democrats were focusing on initiatives that had nothing to do with your kitchen table, had nothing to do with how much you pay for eggs, had nothing to do with how much you pay for gas, had nothing to do with inflation. We were suffering under inflation under the last administration. Can we have a talk? We were suffering. There was so much wrong in America. We wanted Trump. Number one, Trump has only been in office 6 months. He got 4 years. Everybody's mad at Trump. You want to blame Trump? Can we talk about math? Can we talk about numbers? We're going to talk about numbers this morning. We're going to talk about math this morning. He only been in office 6 months, but the problem is your life was so bad. You were afraid of World War III. You couldn't afford eggs. You couldn't afford gas. Your president was falling asleep on stage. They took a woman and took away the democratic process from you. You didn't know what to believe. You didn't know what to do. You didn't know if your president had a cognitive ability or not. And if he didn't, when did he stop having it? Then they told you had to take this black woman, and if you didn't vote for her, you was racist. Do you know how bad things got just 6 months ago? It was only 6 months ago. It wasn't 6 years ago. No, it was only 6 months ago. See, inflation was strangling the American people. The American family was being strangled by inflation. But instead of talking about real issues, right? Talking about real numbers, the Democrats wanted to talk about for 2 weeks. What did the Democrats talk about for 2 weeks? What did the Democrats do? I said the Democrats were trying to distract. I got 50 shorts up right now. And thank you everybody who watched. BD Big Daddy Beard Gaming 5.0, 5.0, 5.0. Subscribe to the guy, man. Big Daddy Beard Gaming. I got 20 shorts up right now talking about the Democratic distraction. I educated my audience on sandbagging, so that people understand that these were political tactics and political theater, and what you need to focus on is the big beautiful bill. Now, I've been talking about the big beautiful bill in a positive light. People have been upset about the big beautiful bill, not understanding how it benefits you as an American family, and how it gets paid for. But today, this morning, we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about numbers. Because see, they want to talk about it in a silo. They don't want to, why don't your liberal left-leaning media wants to give you good education? Why don't they want to give you the whole picture? They want to talk about the big beautiful bill siloed from the Trump tariffs and the benefits from the Trump tariffs. Today, I'm going to give you some numbers that's going to astound you, because it astounded me. It astounded me. It astounded. Woo! This is what we doing this morning, man. This is what we doing this morning. We fired up and ready to go, man. We fired up and ready to. Happy Monday, everybody, man. Happy Monday morning. Get your Trump hands, man. Hit the like, shares. 14 people watching, 8 likes. That's not enough likes. Somebody said, no. I'm in here saying, yeah. I got them saying, no. I'm in here saying, yeah. Man, you're going to be amazed at these numbers. Where should we start? Should we start with a Democrat? Should we start with one of them? I'ma save that. We could start with one of your favorite Democrats. But I'ma say, I like going to the numbers, man. I know everybody like the videos, but I like going to the numbers and the actual truth. So maybe you follow this, but it's my job to follow this, right? So I'm paying attention. Beyond the distraction, right? You got to look beyond the veil, beyond the distraction. So everybody on the Democrat, the lefts are crying. The fake Trump MAGA split, that's all fake. That's all fake news. All them comedians and, oh, Trump, I can't believe I voted for Trump. That's all BS. That's not real life. That's not based in facts. The reality is this, that Japan, if you're paying attention to the real facts, Japan and the United States just negotiated a trade deal. It's not a trade war. It's negotiation. It's the art of the deal. Remember, Trump is a billionaire. Hello? Yeah, Trump is a billionaire. Oh, man, he's been a billionaire for a long time, man. Big bad billionaire, Big Daddy Warbucks, man. Yeah, man, Playboy around the world, man. He owned Mar-a-Lago, Playboy wife, man. I don't know what they talking about. Yeah, man, been a billionaire for a minute, man. Making deals, the art of the deal. Y'all remember he was on TV for 20 years, man, firing people. Remember Trump saying, you're fired, and everybody wanted to be on the TV show from Arsenio Hall to Yo Mall. Check this out, man. So I heard about the Japan trade deal. It's a trade deal and it benefits America. So I heard about Japan agreeing to 15%. And I said, okay, I immediately went to Grok. I immediately went to Deep Think, and I immediately went to AI just to clarify my understanding of what was going on. So I wanted to know, Okay, if Japan agreed to 15%, what was Japan paying before? So before Trump, and this is what you need to understand, this is what's astronomical. So right now, this is why Japan, because I heard Japan was happy. Japan agreed, came to the table and negotiated, had a deal, very happy. There will be no retaliation from Japan. There will be no retaliation. Japan is going to invest $550 billion into the U.S. Japan, $550 billion investment. Japan has also agreed to a significant investment of $550 billion in the United States, according to the White House. The details and the implementation of his investment are still being discussed and debated, but some see it as a potential impact and initiative for U.S. industry and job creation. They not saying this on the media. Only on Perfect Timing Podcast from an OG perspective, you're going to get the honest truth about how it is the big, beautiful bill gets paid for and benefits you. Well, Japan, and I haven't got to the EU deal. We got an EU bilateral summit. The EU is investing $600 billion. So we talking about $1 trillion. We got $550 billion coming into the White House, coming into America from Japan, being invested in America. But that's not all. You heard about a trade going up. You heard about a trade deal. So Japan agreed to 15% tariffs. But you know what Japan was paying before? So Japan was paying 1 to 2%. It's unbelievable. Japan was paying nothing. So if you understand tariffs, Japan was sending things into America for free. Japan was basically not paying anything. This is what Trump said when he ran for president. This is the thing. This is what I voted for. This is what you voted for. You wanted this. You wanted more jobs. You wanted more industry. You wanted a better pay and a better salary for your kids. Well, it's happening, and they want to distract you. I'm telling you on Monday morning that the Trump tariffs are working. Trump flipped the script. The benefits are rolling in, and no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to tell you about the truth. $550 billion kind of offsets what you heard about the big, beautiful bill. Did you hear about the big, beautiful bill? No one is talking to you. I don't have enough likes. I don't have enough likes. 60 people watching. I need more likes so we can get this message out there. We need 100 likes. We need 100 likes on the double. We need 100 likes, double tap and hit the like and share and subscribe. What's happening in America right now? So when Japan would send cars, shout out to Honda Boy, into America, they were paying 1% tariff. Today, Japan was happy to agree to a fit because Trump threatened 30% because you weren't paying anything. So what happened? America's workers got poor. Do you guys understand the math of the tariff? America got poor. Japan and China and EU got richer. They got richer off of America. They never had to pay one dime. They weren't required to. We got a businessman in the White House who looked at the tariffs and said America is getting ripped off. But check this out. All the liberal media wants to do is tell you that you're going to pay more money. Well, tell me why under the Democrat Biden, inflation skyrocketed. Why did gas go to $8 and eggs go to $8? And the tariff on Japan was 1%. Do you guys understand math? I need you to think this morning. I need you to think before you get upset and try to sound smart in the chat. Let's have a real mathematical, political, geopolitical discussion. When eggs were outrageous, you couldn't buy eggs. Tariff was 1%. When you could not buy eggs, the tariff was 1%. During the last administration, we had inflation through the roof. You couldn't go to the supermarket. One bag of groceries. The last 4 years on TikTok. How many TikToks did you see where you come in with one bag of groceries for $100? That was during the last administration. And guess what the tariff was? The tariff was 1%. The tariff in EU was 1%. The tariff on Japan was 1%. So if tariffs affect inflation and price, then why the frick were we paying $10 for eggs? Somebody tell me right now, if tariffs affect price, why did we have such inflation under a 1% tariff during the last administration? During the last administration, we had 1% tariffs. Why did we have inflation? Now, guess what's happening? Inflation, tariffs are going up and inflation is going down. Do you understand how it works? The Democrats are lying to you. The left-leaning media is lying to you. That's why I ask, do you remember when Walmart came came to your town and wages became stagnant at $7 an hour. Walmart pays minimum wage. Do you remember when Walmart came to town with cheap Chinese imported goods that are disposable? Chinese toasters for $5, Chinese vacuums for $5, Chinese blenders for $5. But wait a minute, I have to buy one every year. My grandmother blender was an oyster blender made in America. My mother got it for her wedding. It was this big metal base that was $50. Who had a blender made in America? Do you remember your grandmother's blender? It costs $100. It comes from Sears, but it lasts a lifetime. It had a lifetime warranty. Well, an iron at Walmart, $5. Well, my grandmother had an iron that could knock out a man. The iron had an iron plate that was 20 pounds. As a child, I couldn't even lift up my grandmother's iron because it was an actual iron. It cost $50. It came from Sears, but she gave it to my mother for her wedding. What happened to things that lasted? See, they want to tell you goods in America are going to cost more money. Well, God, dog it, I hope that iron comes back. I pray that blender comes back. I pray that my grandmother's toaster, remember Toasty? Remember Toy Story? That big toaster. The toaster was chrome. The toaster was 3 feet tall. The toaster weighed 100 pounds. You could put a big piece of bagel in the toaster. The toaster lasted 20 years. I'm talking to you about America. Some of you don't remember this America. You laugh, oh, he's old. He's an old head. He's talking about this. American-made products weren't disposable. You didn't buy an American toaster every year. Your grandmother bought one iron. Your grandmother bought one toaster. Your grandmother bought one blender. You go to Walmart and you buy a toaster every year. You go to Walmart and you buy a blender every year. And you pay taxes on a blender every year. China's getting rich. China's getting rich. China's getting rich. China's getting rich. Do you understand how the tariffs work? Do you understand? I don't have enough likes. I don't have enough likes. I don't have enough likes. You want to look at it? Do you want to look at it? Do you want to understand the truth? There was 1%. Japan paid 1%. Do you know what they, let me look at this. Let me go. What are the tariffs? Okay, before, let's read. Let's go. 100 people watching, 18 likes. I don't have enough likes. Thank you, everybody watching. I need more likes. We need 100 likes on the double. I asked AI, okay, if the tariffs are 15% under Trump's deal, what was the tariff before? This is what you need to ask in your barbershop. If the tariff deal is 15%, what was the tariff deal before? Before the recent agreement under the Trump administration, effective U.S. tariff rates on Japanese imports were generally less than 2%. Basically free. Basically free. Basically free. They didn't pay a. Trump said it. The fake news, remember fake news? Trump told you they're not paying anything. Trump told you as an American, you're getting ripped off. That's your money. That's where your money is going. You're getting ripped off. You want to know where your money is? That's your money. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump. How many people knew that? How many people knew they only pay less than 2% on your Honda, on your Lexus, on your Toyota Camry? Did you know they only paid 1%? They are happy. They are happy. This is why it's called a trade deal. Trump said we getting a short end on the stick. America is getting not a fair deal. This is what MAGA, but see, all the fake comedians, think about everybody last week. The fake comedians wanted you not to believe in Trump. He's been negotiating these tariffs since he came into office. Do you realize it's only been 6 months? We have results. It's only been 6 months. It's only been 6 months. Now, I'm talking to you about Japan. Japan was last week. What's happening today? America, everybody, what's happening today? There is a bilateral summit in Scotland. Japan is investing 550. The Japan trade deal is amazing. Can Trump get some props? Can we give Trump some props this morning? So Trump negotiated a trade deal where it went from 1% to 15% and also got Japan to invest $550 billion in America. That's a great deal. It benefits me. It benefits you. That's a great. Can we talk? For 2 weeks, we talked about a dead man. For 2 weeks, we talked about a dead man. I said, there's nothing at the end of the Jeffrey Epstein rainbow. I said, there's no tax increase. There's no jobs. There's no pension. There's nothing at the end of that rainbow. Today, I'm giving you a pot of gold. Today, I'm showing you the pot of gold. I am showing you the pot of gold. 149 people watching, 22 likes. We need more likes. I need 100 likes on the double. We need everybody watching to like, share, and subscribe. Japan was paying 1%. Now they're paying 15%. That benefits you. The price doesn't go up because when we had inflation, Japan was paying 1%. Can you understand that when you had inflation, it's only been 6 months. Inflation was kicking your butt for 4 years. You know how much groceries costed during the last administration? See, inflation has been kicking your butt. But Japan was only paying 1%. So this is all I want you to do. I want you to be educated. I want them to work harder to lie to you. They have been lying to you. Ask a Democrat. Okay, Democrat, if the tariffs going up is going to cost me money, why did it cost me so much money during the last Democratic administration when tariffs were 1%? That's all I want the Democrats to do for you guys. Explain that to you. Jasmine Crockett, can you explain if the tariffs have a correlation to how much I pay for my groceries? Why did I pay so much for groceries when the tariffs were 1%? That's all I need to know. Why did I pay so much for gas, eggs, bread, and milk when the tariffs was 1%? Now, EU, we have a bilateral summit this morning. The EU agrees to a 15% tariff. So I asked AI, how much were tariffs in the EU before Trump's deal? Huh? How much? Listen, today I'm telling you, Japan paid 1%. Before Donald Trump, Japan paid 1%. That's nothing. They got to sell their goods. Think about who likes Grand Theft Auto, who likes Godfather. Japan got to sell their goods on our block for free. We let Japan come in our neighborhood. Listen to this. Listen to this. We let Japan come into our neighborhood, come on our block, and make money for free. We didn't charge them anything. We gave them a corner. We gave Japan a corner. Said you can make money on this corner, but we didn't charge them. We gave it to them for free because we were their friends. We love you, Japan, so you can have this corner and make money for free. Trump said that is idiotic. That's not good business. If Japan wants to make money and sell on my corner, I want $1. What did the King of New York say? Out of every dollar, I want a penny. Out of every quarter, I need a. Come on, it's the King of New York is the president. The King of New York is the president. Nobody is on this block. Nobody's selling money on this block without me getting a cut. Thank you, President Trump. I love President Trump. I love President. So the EU is having a bilateral summit in Scotland. The Democrats want to tell you that it's a golf trip. It's not a golf trip. I said how much the EU was being threatened 30% tariff. They agreed to 15%. So I said, how much was the EU paying during the last administration? Because I had to pay $10 for eggs. So I looked it up. You want to know how much the EU paid in tariff before Trump? We had inflation. Some of the largest, this can be documented. The inflation you experienced in the last administration is documented as some of the worst inflation in the past 20, 50 years. That was documented when the eggs went up. When you were on TikTok and you could only get one bag of groceries for $100, it's documented. The inflation under the last administration is documented for being so high, but the tariff was 1%. They're telling you the prices is a correlation between the prices and the tariffs, but how can that be true? Okay, so how much did Europe pay before the deal? I don't have 100 likes. We need 100 likes. Let's look and see how much under the recent trade deal between the U.S. and the EU. EU has agreed to zero tariffs on most imports. That was announced. So this is a different fact. So I said how much now, because people said it's going to be a trade war. How much are we paying in this new deal? So Europe now has to pay 15%. How much do we pay? We pay zero. Donald Trump just got us to pay zero. So if you make something and you ship it to Europe, your tariff is zero. How many people have their own business? Do you have a candle business? Do you have what do people have? Chocolate, strawberries? If you ship overseas to Europe, your new tariff under the EU trade deal is zero. How many people benefit from that in the chat? Your new, come on now, I need 100 likes, 180 people watching, 33 likes, right? The new trade deal says if you have a business in America, you now pay zero tariffs when you ship to Europe. Now, people say we can't afford. What? Huh? The Trump tariffs are working. The Trump tariffs are working. Let me see. Let me look and see. A recent trade deal between the EU has resulted in a 15% tariff on most EU exports to US, including automobiles and semiconductors, pharmaceuticals. This is a significant decrease from the 30% that Trump threatened. 15% on EU, but EU was paying almost 0%. Most recently, a fair for 15%, 30%. Under the Biden administration in 2021, the US-EU reached an interim deal to address the tariffs between them and aluminum in trade dispute, and the tariffs were 10% on aluminum. So they had cheaper tariffs under Biden, but you paid more money at the pump. Can you make that make sense? We got 200 people watching, 37 likes, more likes. So how much is they're going to invest? They're going to invest $600 million. So with the trade deal with Europe, they are investing $600 million in America. We got Japan investing $550 billion in America, and we got Europe investing $600 billion in America. Now, I gave you a lot of data. Now, we're going to have some fun. Y'all want to have some fun? Let's watch a video from one of your favorite Democrats. Let's watch. Somebody said this is dumb. Come on. I want to educate you. I want you to be brilliant. Not enough. 224 people watching, 39 likes. I need 100 likes on the double. Right now, I'm going to tell you. So you're hearing from me. I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I'm pro-Trump. Let's listen to a Democrat. I'm going to play a Democrat who's pro-Obama, pro-Democrat.
Along with probably most people were saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country the economy would be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty. Because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Yeah. Hello? That's Bill Maher telling you the fact that they predicted that the tariffs would sink the economy, but it's having the opposite effect. That's what we told you. Trump flipped the script. That is a Democrat. Bill Maher has to admit that the economy is doing better. Everyone is doing better. Eggs are cheaper. Milk is cheaper. Whether you like Trump or not, he said, because if you just base your opinion on you hate Trump, it leads to dishonesty. He said, can we just be honest? That's all I've been saying for the last 2 weeks. It's not about Epstein. I said, can we be honest? The economy is better. America is better. Trump is a better president. It's only been 6 months. If you're being honest about everything Bill Maher, think about everything Bill Maher just said has occurred in 6 months. The stock market, people being happier, people spending money, going on vacation. This is 6 months into the Trump presidency. We have trade deals with multi-billion-dollar investments, money coming into America. People didn't like it, but he sold weapons to different countries. That was billions of dollars coming into America. So we got $550 billion investment. Taiwan investing in America with semiconductor plants being built. The EU brand new bilateral trade deal, $600 billion being invested in America. You cannot hide from the facts. The numbers on the ground show Americans are doing better under a Trump presidency. This is not conjecture. This is not debatable. I just played a Democrat. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play it again because it sounds so sweet on a Monday morning. Don't it sound sweet? Don't it sound sweet to all of the MAGA in the chat? Can we get our Trump hands? All of the Trump MAGA fans in the chat. Trump is doing it. Flip the script. Trump has flipped the script. Economy is doing better. Inflation is down. And even the Democrats got to admit that Trump is doing his thing. It's only been 6 months. MAGA, 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 MAGA. And don't forget everybody who traded on us last week. Everybody in the chat, do not forget everybody who traded. As the good news comes out, don't forget all the people who said and was crying over Trump. I'm not going to let Dave Smith, Tim Dillon, all you comedians, Joe Rogan, all the comedians who flipped on Trump last week, don't let them pivot. Do not let them pivot back and start coming over and kissing the big orange butt of Donald Trump. We don't need your help anymore, comedians. Go make a funny comedy special because none of you are funny. You make me sick. Took you 1 week and you jumped ship on Trump, but you won't talk about real issues. The American people were paying $10 for eggs under the last administration. Here go Bill Maher, an honest comedian who's really funny, a Democrat. Ain't it funny that the Republican comedians are talking mess about MAGA? The Republican comedians are helping split the MAGA base. But here it is, a Democrat comedian being honest about the tariffs and the effect on your... Is anybody... I need 100 likes right away, man. I need 100 likes right away, man. We don't have enough likes. 228 people watching, and we got 45 likes, man. We need 100 likes on the double. Listen to Bill Maher talk about the positive impacts of Trump tariffs. The topic this morning is the positive impacts on your pocketbook, not your feelings, not your fee-fees.
Remember, I, along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning, oh, you know, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country was, the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump.
Reality.
That's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty, because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time. And they didn't.
Come on,
so, you know, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that fact? Everybody in the chat, how do you deal with that fact that the tariffs are working in your benefit? How do you deal with the facts? Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am. How How do you deal with the fact that they said the tariffs would make your life worse and that prices would go up, but McDonald's just extended the $5 happy to the end of the year? Did you know that McDonald's $5 mini meal was only supposed to be temporary? Did you know that $5 mini meal was only supposed to be temporary? I thought Red Lobster was going out of business, but everybody is spending money buying $100 crab boils from Red Lobster. Can we talk about the honest truth of what's happening in America? What's happening in America? You are buying crab boils. Red Lobster did not go out of business. That means a lot of people kept their job. And Red Lobster has a CEO, a young American CEO, and he is doing a bang 'em up job. What are you talking about? Huh? They said the tariffs was going to make you spend more money, but McDonald's in California has raised minimum wage to $20 an hour, but at the same time listen, salary has gone up. And guess what has happened at McDonald's and Wendy's and Jack in the Box? Prices have gone down. Salary has gone up and prices have gone down. Everybody has a $5 mini meal. And now they have to pay $20 an hour. But they told you if we have to pay $20 an hour, then the food is going to cost more. But wait a minute. You're paying $20 an hour now and the food is cheaper. In fact, you can't raise the price. Come on! And anybody listening right now, I said not only are wages higher, the food is cheaper, and McDonald's cannot raise the price. And if McDonald's has a $5 meal, everybody has to have a $5 meal. That benefits you, your pockets, your kitchen table. McDonald's has said we cannot get rid of the $5 meal. We are paying more money in wages and food is cheaper under this president. Everything they told you was a lie. Everything poof. It just poofed in front of you. Everything just poofed. Everything they told you was a lie. 242 people watching. Double tap and hit the like. We need 100 likes. Out the bag, out the box. We need 100 likes. Tell me why you get more money in your salary, but Wendy's had to come out with a $5 meal. Jack in the Box had to come out with a $5 meal. KFC had to come out with a $5 meal. Because see, McDonald's sets the market. McDonald's sets the market. So if McDonald's pays $20 an hour, everybody had to pay $20 an hour. Right now, Domino's, it been $9.99 for as many toppings as you want for the past 6 months. Ever since Donald Trump came into office, at Domino's, you can order a large pizza with as many toppings as you want, and they pay $20 an hour at Domino's. Why is the food cheaper and the wages going up? Can someone who hates Donald Trump explain to me why I can get a pizza with as many toppings as I want, but they making $20 an hour? Right now, McDonald's is paying $20. That's the start. That's the starting wage. Is this thing on? I said the starting wage at McDonald's is $20 an hour. In-N-Out pays more money. Everybody had to lower their prices to meet McDonald's $5 meal. This is benefiting you. This is the reality in America. This is the reality in America, that America with the tariffs, listen, with the Trump tariffs, American wages are going up. I'm going to show you about production. I saw something about steel production. I want to go to manufacturing. Let's go read, because I'm talking to you about salary going up. 61 likes. We need 205 people watching, 61 likes. Double tap, hit the like button. Look at me, I'm in here sweating. I'm in here getting it going. Like the stream, like the movie, like the podcast. Lick the like one time for your guy, man. Lick the like. Come on, let's read. Let's read right now, because I want to talk to you about what benefits the tariffs have caused right now. Let's read AI. What does it say? Some argue the Trump tariffs have had a positive impact on the U.S. economy, manufacturing, and steel production. Some reports suggest the tariffs have led to a modest increase in U.S. manufacturing and steel production by making imported goods less competitive. Can we have a talk this morning? Can we have a talk this morning about the reality? I'm going to read it to you right now. I'm going to read it again. We're going to read it a couple times. This is what I told you what happened with the tariffs. It says the benefits of the Trump tariffs are reporting that the tariffs have led to an increase in U.S. manufacturing and steel and production by making imported goods less competitive. What did I say would happen? This is what I said would happen, that the imported goods are disposable, throwaway, a $5 iron, a $5 blender, a $5 toaster made out of plastic. But guess what's happening? Steel is going up. The production and manufacturing of steel is going up. That means more American jobs, higher American wages, and Japan can keep their steel. China, you can keep your steel. We got American steel. Make America great again. China, keep your steel. Japan, keep your steel. We got U.S. steel. And my grandfather, he wouldn't buy nothing that wasn't made in America. He would spend the $80 at Sears and buy his wife a big, beautiful iron that came with a warranty, a lifetime warranty at Sears. What if we started having goods like that again? What if America, because you know what would happen? Japanese would want to buy American goods. Japanese wouldn't want to buy a plastic iron. If Americans start making products like our grandmothers had again, now we could export those things. If we made that same iron, who remembers the oyster? Do I need to bring it up? I'm gonna look it up. Let's look up the oyster blender that our grandmothers had. Oyster blender. From when? What we gonna say? Oyster blender from the 1960s. Oyster blender 1960. Huge. They don't really got them. Let's see if we can find an oyster blender. Look at these big ass blenders. Who remember these big ass blenders? 1960 vintage chrome blender. Look at this blender. Y'all, and that was glass. Do you understand? That was metal and that was glass. The top of the blender was glass. I forgot, bro. So think about how many people making money when America, so we had a glass manufacturer to make that, and then there's fabricators, steel fabricators. So the blender that your grandmother had in the 60s, you can't even buy it. 1960s vintage chrome beehive oyster blender, $125 out of stock. You can't buy it anymore. You can't buy it. You have to go to Walmart and buy a $5 blender that's going to break. Remember, your mom would be so pissed at these imported trash goods because your mom want to cook a Thanksgiving dinner and everything is breaking. The blender, everything doesn't work, ain't worth crap because you bought it from Walmart for $5. And your mom was used to having a blender like this, that if it fell on the ground, it wouldn't break. And if it fell on your foot, it would break your toe. If that fell on your foot, it would break your toe. We talking about a glass. Who has a blender that has a glass receptacle? The top is glass. It weighed 10 pounds. The bottom is steel. It weighed 20 pounds. These are American products that did not get thrown away and that were not disposable. My argument this morning is that if we believe in Trump, if we believe in MAGA, what will happen is, I'm going to just say this, it's already happening. I played you Bill Maher. It's already happening. These products will come back. These products will come back. What will happen is some American with ingenuity will build a better mousetrap. Do you remember that phrase? An American with ingenuity will build a better mousetrap. Okay. China only sends us $5 piece of shit toaster. I'm going to make a quality toaster. It's going to cost $100, but I'm going to give you a warranty and I'm going to promise I'll fix it. It's going to work for 20 years. And if it breaks, ship it back to me in middle America. I live in Kansas. Ship it back to me. I'll fix it. And I promise you, for your $100, you will have a toaster for 20 years. That is my prayer. That is what is going to happen. That is what's happening right now. That jobs are coming back to America. The quality of goods in America is going up. The price of goods is going down, and salaries are going up. There's no better measurement than the $5 mini meal at McDonald's, because all of us, look, even the people who don't supposed to eat McDonald's shop at McDonald's. Even the people who, when I was vegan, I still bought McDonald's fries. So everybody can relate to my analogy about McDonald's. Everybody understands about the $5 mini meal. Everybody felt the impact of the $5 mini meal. McDonald's announced that it was going to be temporary. We all were upset. McDonald's announced that they're going to prolong the $5 mini meal. McDonald's had to admit that even though they had to raise salaries in states like California and New York to $20 an hour, McDonald's could not get rid of the $5 mini meal. That amounts to McDonald's had to concede to lowering prices, even though they have raised salary. There's no better metric to talk about tariffs, to talk about the reality of paychecks than a McDonald's example, because no one can argue about the fact that McDonald's had to lower prices in order not to go out of business. Where I live, I've seen 3 McDonald's close down. McDonald's don't close. Starbucks and McDonald's closed down under the last administration. In order for McDonald's not to close, they had to do 2 things: lower prices of food and pay their employees more money just to stay in business. Do you understand how? See, they lied to you how business works. You don't stay in business if you don't pay your employees. Can anybody in the chat be honest? We need 100 likes. We got 68 likes. We got 300 people watching. Let's get more likes. Can people be honest? You do not keep a successful business if you don't pay your people good, because people want good customer service. And you will not get good customer service if you don't pay your people good wages. When you pay your people, what do people love? People love Chick-fil-A. Why do we love Chick-fil-A? Because they have excellent customer service. Do you know why Chick-fil-A employees are happy to give you good customer service? Because they make good money. They get paid well. In-N-Out has excellent customer service. Do you know why In-N-Out employees are happy to give you good customer service? Because they get paid good money. And where you go and employees treat you bad is where they make minimum wage. All of us hate going to Walmart. We have to go to Walmart because of inflation, but we all hate going to Walmart. Why do we hate going to Walmart? Because the customer service is abhorrent. The customer service at Walmart is abhorrent. Why? Because they make minimum wage and they don't care if they get fired. They make minimum wage, they get treated like dog poop, and they don't care if they get fired. So you get horrible customer service, or you get ignored at Walmart. You get ignored. Do you get it? This is why some people in your family, who has a bougie auntie? I was watching a TikTok yesterday. It was hilarious. And there was somebody saying I'm a bougie auntie. Who has a bougie auntie? Where, guess what? Your bougie auntie, just to qualify my statement, your bougie auntie doesn't shop at Walmart. Guess where your bougie auntie shops? She shops at Target. Who has a bougie who has a bougie auntie who shops at Target? Huh? Who refuses to go to Walmart? Does anybody got an auntie that got some money? Who got a rich auntie? Who got a rich auntie who does not shop at Walmart? Who will never step foot in a Walmart? Who only shops at Target? Huh? Because of the customer service and the quality. I got that kind of auntie. Auntie, you want to go with me to Walmart? Boy, I don't shop at Walmart. Boy, I don't shop at Walmart. If you want me to read your comment, hit the super chat. Put your comment in the super chat and I'll read your comment. That's all it is. This is a YouTube live stream. If you want me to take the time out, read your comment, and give my brain, my cognitive power, the ability to answer your question, put it in the super chat. We're going to teach you guys respect this morning. Because I'm teaching you about math. I'm teaching you about geopolitics. I'm teaching you about the quality of goods. I'm teaching you about the correlation between tariffs and salaries and inflation. So if you want me to teach you more, if you want a specific lesson, you're going to have to hit the super chat. Or you can be in the chat whining like those whiny crybabies last week who traded on Trump. So I want you to cry in the chat. Come on, cry. Oh, he won't answer my question. He won't answer. Oh, Trump, I don't know why I voted for you, Trump. Why I voted. I don't know why I'm watching this live stream. He don't talk to. Hit the super chat, you cry, baby. Hit the super chat, you cry, baby. Hit the super chat, you cry, baby. If you want to talk about Epstein, hit the super chat. Hit the like button. 142 people watching, 72 likes. We the 100 likes on the double, baby. So wait a minute. I just showed you the oyster blender. What about the iron? What about the iron from the 1960s? Because we talking this morning iron from the 1960s. Look at this thing, man. You could hurt some. Look at this iron. Look at this iron. This is all metal. It's all metal fat. Look at that thing. Look at the extension cord. Who remember getting whooped with one of them? If you get a whooping, look how thick. Wait a minute. I gotta show you this one. Look at this. It's like a rope. It's like a rope. Look at that base. Look at this thing. 1960s electric iron. It's like a rope. Do you understand? Do you understand the products? Do you understand the goods that we had? Do you understand how long? Do you know that iron? My grandmother had that iron. It came in like a suitcase. Who remembers the vacuum? Who remembers the Kirby vacuum cleaner? The Kirby vacuum cleaner had a lifetime warranty and it cost $1,000. The Kirby, who grandmother had a Kirby? Can you put in the chat right now? Who grandmother had a Kirby? Kirby, door-to-door salesman. There was movies about this stuff. Kirby, I remember somebody had a gold Kirby because she sold so many Kirby vacuums. $1,000. The Kirby vacuum was a metal vacuum. It was 300 pounds in a trunk. The Kirby vacuum came in a trunk. Look at Lorazzo said my boss still has one. It doesn't work. Lorazzo, does it still work? I bet you. And then look, Murphy said, my man is like Chick-fil-A. McDonald's kids being in traffic. Oh, does it still work? Does the Kirby, I bet you the Kirby vacuum still work. These irons still work. These blenders still work. This is the difference. This is the difference. Make Africa great again, Miguel. Oh, Miguel, man, don't do it to yourself, Miguel. You're going to get in trouble. YouTube going to come get you because you got the Mexican name. You know what I'm saying? You can't do the black and Mexican thing. So Miguel come and says, is this guy from Africa? And then he says, make Africa great again. Look, Miguel, I agree. Let's make Africa great again. Let's make America great again. And guess what else? Let's make Miguel great again. Oh, my God. Oh, we do not speak of Sace. We do not speak of Trace. We do not speak of Trace. Oh my God. Kirby was a carpet cleaner and a vacuum. Talk about it. Kirby was a carpet cleaner and a vacuum. Nation said, I watched this great documentary yesterday called Idiocracy. Really scary. Oh, you talking about the movie? Oh, so if you trying to be funny, this is why I say we, under the last administration, where you had Sleepy, let's go Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. That was idiocracy. They tried to install Kamala. Kamala is Indian and Jamaican. They told you she was black. She's married to a white man. They skipped the DNC. What are you talking about, idiocracy? You're not talking about the Republican. You're not talking about Trump. You want me to go in on the Democrats? I will go in on the Democrats. You left that man on stage asleep. Idiocracy. You left that man on stage asleep. Yes, you did. Cognitive decline. When did it start to decline? If you really want to talk about idiocracy, that is the epitome. He was Sleepy Joe. Who was the president? Who was running the country? It wasn't. Who was running? They found cocaine in the White House. You're kidding, right? You kidding? The trolls, what's wrong? You do better. It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning. You can do better, trolls. They found cocaine. Hunter Biden slept with his brother. Hunter Biden got pardoned. He pardoned Hunter Biden. He pardoned a crackhead. He pardoned a crackhead. I can't make it up. Oh shit, you can't make it up. I wish I was lying. I wish I lied. What about the Russia hoax? What about the dossier? What about Comey? You want to talk about Donna Brazile? You want to talk about idiocracy? What about Donna Brazile cheating in a presidential debate and giving Hillary Clinton the questions that she still lost? Can we talk about idiots? Well, you want to talk about idiots? Idiots! Yes! Donna Brazile cheated, gave Hillary Clinton the questions, and they still lost. Kamala Harris rose billions of dollars in 2 days, and she still lost. Kamala Harris had Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, and Gorilla shaking their ass, and she still lost. You want to talk about idiots? You want to talk about an idiot? You want to talk about an idiot? You want to talk? Obama lied. Shout out to Tulsi Gabbard. Obama, knowingly working with the Comey FBI, produced a false Russia dossier and publicized it, knowing it was falsified information. Fake news. Do you want to? How is that an idiot? Is that an idiot? I'm just asking. Is that an idiot? The person who knowingly publishes lies as the president, the fake dossier, cocaine in the White House, crackhead being pardoned, falling asleep on stage. The list goes on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on. Idiots. And then they said, think about this. Oh my God. Idiots. And then if it wasn't dumb enough, if they weren't dumb enough, if the Democrats weren't dumb enough, they picked Tim Walz. You can't make this up. Somebody in the chat, even if you hate me, if you hate Trump, they pick Walz. Come on, man. Come on, you mad at me? You pick Walz. How can you be mad at me? You picked Walz, bro. Come on. You mad at me and Trump? How can you be mad at me or Trump, bro? The tampons in the bathroom of the little boys. You pick Walz. We're talking about idiocracy. We're talking about idiots. You pick Walz. Can we talk about intelligent decisions, political savvy? You pick Walz, you pick Kamala, you pick Beyonce, you pick Meg Thee Stallion. These were your choices. You said we don't need a Democratic convention. How was that genius? Was that the new political strategy of the Democratic Party? We're going to skip the DNC. That was genius. Because we're talking about idiocracy. We're talking about idiots. And I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like me. These are facts. Was that an intelligent decision? Was that politically savvy to not go to the Democratic convention? Huh? I agree. When you say working class versus elites, the working class didn't make the decision. Who made the decision to pick Kamala and not go to the DNC? To the person, who is that? I like that. Commodity Productions. Great comment. Who made the decision to go to pick Kamala and not go to the DNC? Because Kamala had never won a primary. Kamala had never won a primary. Who, working class versus elites? I'm going to tell you, the elites, the Democratic elites. This is your party. Why are you mad at me? Can you at least know who you are? Why you're mad at me and you're mad at Trump? Can you know who you are? Can you know who you are? Do you know who you are? You are an elite. If you are a Democrat, you are an elitist. You chose Kamala. You didn't let the people, you didn't let the working class people pick. No, commodity, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not telling you to have a party. I'm speaking to Democrats, people who have chosen a party. So don't get clowned in the chat by saying something stupid. Follow along. If I slow down, you don't have to listen so slowly. Now, pay attention. I'm talking to people who are Democrats, who claim to be Democrats. I'm educating them based on your comment. I said, who chose Kamala? Who decided not to go to the convention? It was elites, not the working class. Working class Democrats had nothing to do with the Kamala decision. And guess what? Working class Democrats paid for it. The elites told you, don't worry about it. Sit down and shut up. Can we have an honest talk this morning? Just like during the pandemic, Democratic elites told you, sit down, shut up, and do what we tell you. They said Trump was a king. I'm looking at the Democrats act like a king. As I look at the Democrats act like a king, but a king behind the curtain. Because Biden was not the king. There was a king behind the curtain. And as I see this king operating and the king pointing a finger at Trump, I'm saying to myself, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. If Trump is a king, who made the decision to not go to do the Democratic working class understand the democratic process? And I mean that in the most insulting way possible. Do the Democrat working class understand the democratic process? Do they understand what was done when the Democratic elites in Silicon Valley took away the convention? They didn't take it away from me. Do you understand? Hello, we had a convention. Do you know what they did as a Democrat? If you're a Democrat, if you go to work every day and you're a Democrat and the elites took away the convention, do you know what that meant? You should have been pissed. You pay taxes, you go to work, you vote Democrat, and they take away the convention. They don't give you an opportunity to choose who your candidate will be. Instead, they tell you, shut up, sit down, and vote for this fake black woman. The Democratic elite took away your Democrat. The Democrat elite took away your democracy, took away the democratic process from working class Americans. They told working class Americans, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're a racist. But you didn't give me a convention. You didn't give me a choice. So you take away my choice. You take away democracy and you try to scare me into voting for Kamala. You say, if I don't vote for Kamala, I'm a racist. You tell black men, if you don't vote for Kamala, you don't like your mama. Barack Obama comes out and says and threatens black men, you don't want me to go get Michelle. You don't want me to. Barack Obama tells black men he gonna go get Michelle if black men don't vote for Kamala. You didn't have democracy. I'm watching you. I'm watching them take democracy from you, and you're in my chat calling me names. I watched them take democracy from you. You accepted it. Can I have another? Can I have another? Can I have another? No DNC. Can I have another? Kamala is going to be the nominee. Can I have another? They took democracy from you. In the middle of a campaign, Biden had already lost the debate. Who was making these, to this day, do you know who was the shot caller? Because Biden didn't want to leave. To right now, do you know who made those decisions? As a Democrat who hates Trump, who thinks Trump is a king, who is your king? Shout out to Black Panther. Who is your king? Who made those decisions? Who is your king? Do you know who you are? You think you're a liberal. You think you're a Democrat. You don't even know who your party is, and they won't let you know. You don't get to know. As a working class Democrat, you don't get to know. You're not even really part of the party. You are fodder. You are barter fodder. Like my toys, like my Star Wars, you are barter fodder. What do I got over here? You are barter fodder. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. Y'all know, I want to show y'all something. Check this out. I want to show y'all, check that out. I just want to show y'all that. And I had some, here we go. I just want to show y'all that. Barter fodder. Here we go. Crocodile tears. Who was better than Kamala? Trump. This is the thing about America right now. At this point in the lesson, we're not talking about who's better. And you shouldn't be worried about who's better. In this part of the lesson, you should be upset because this is the first time you're understanding what the democratic process is and how the Democratic elite took it away from you. I'm not talking about who's better, Kamala or Trump. I'm talking to Democrats, educating you on what was taken from you, because obviously you don't even know and you don't get the importance of what was taken from you and who was making the decision, because as the American people, you should have made the call. You should have made the call. You make the call. We don't see, the Democratic elites don't get to say Biden is out, Kamala's in, and we're not going to the DNC. That's not how it works, but that's how it worked for you. We're not talking about who's better. I'm just talking to Democrats about how you don't even understand how you are not a Democrat, how you are ran by a king, and that king took away democracy. They did it in New York. They installed the female governor. She was the lieutenant governor, and they threatened Cuomo with the lawsuit like Diddy. They threatened Cuomo with the lawsuit. They said Cuomo would go to jail. Did you know Cuomo was facing charges? SA lawsuits and charges. He was going to be the next Diddy. So they said, Cuomo, step down. He was already governor. Who is making these plays? Who is making these plays? Who is getting the governor of New York to step down and installing the lieutenant governor? And now you have a female governor of New York. Who is running the Democratic Party? Who is doing this? Who is the magical hand? And now he's running for mayor. I'm not making this up, bro. Now he's running for mayor. I thought he was a criminal. How can he run for mayor? You made him leave the governor's house because he was a potential criminal. He was a bad guy. You guys want to talk about Epstein? You want to talk about Epstein? Let's talk about Governor Cuomo. You want to talk about Epstein? I want to talk about the Democrat Governor Cuomo, who was made to step down from the governor's house because he had Epstein and Sean Diddy Combs charges. Who remembers that? I remember. Anybody remember? I remember the governor of New York had to step down. I didn't even know you could do that. And why would he avoid charges? All the people who were crying over Epstein, why don't you want him to go to jail? If you because Epstein is dead and got found guilty. Why don't you want the governor of New York to go to jail and get prosecuted for all the things that he did to women? You know what happens to the governor of New York? He doesn't get prosecuted. He doesn't go to jail. Instead, he steps down. He lets this woman become governor, and now he gets to run for mayor. How do you get to run for mayor if you are an offender? I can't say the word because the algorithm doesn't let you say those words. But you know what I'm trying to say. If Cuomo was so bad he couldn't be governor, he should go to jail, get prosecuted, but overall, he should not be running for mayor of New York. You don't get to be mayor of New York. You a creep. That's your Democratic Party. That's your Democratic Party. That's the Democrats. And all I'm saying to you is who is making these decisions. I'm a grifter. Trump, the Clintons went to Trump's third wedding. Guy was a dim in the 90s. I thank you for your comment, brother, because obviously you're new here. Make sure you hit the subscribe. We got 152 people watching, 84 likes. Double tap, hit the like. This is the Purple Trump Podcast, top of the mid-morning. Trump is a lib, though, LOL. So for everybody saying that, y'all must be new here. Thank y'all for watching, man. Y'all coming with some great comments. Thank the chat, man. Right alongside. Thank you for saying what's up to Purple Time Podcast. Whoever we elect is who we represent us. You get what you pay for. Amen. Amen. He should run for president. Yep, not a conservative. So I like everybody what y'all saying. That means y'all paying attention and you understanding the information. Everybody doesn't have the cognitive ability to process the information, especially how fast and the way I spit it. But we got some people in the chat who's able to process the information, and you don't have to agree with me. So shout out to you for just paying attention and listening. I've said, come on, to the people in the chat, we've been talking about idiots, right? And obviously you guys know I'm not an idiot. And I don't want to insult anyone, but I agree with you. You would have to be an idiot to think that a billionaire belongs to a certain party. I said you'd have to be an idiot to believe that a billionaire belongs to a certain party. When we talk about working class and elites, do you understand that comment? Because that was a great comment. That was from, who was that? Compound, who was that? Commodity Productions. That was a great comment. When we talk about working class and elites, you think a billionaire has a party affiliation? Again, you do not understand the democratic process. Why? A billionaire doesn't have a democratic affiliation to a certain party. A billionaire only has beholding to who? Somebody put it in the chat. It's called share what? Share what? A billionaire is only beholding to what? Share what? Shareholders. Billionaires are not Democrat. Imagine being a shareholder and you lose money in stocks because the CEO is a Democrat or a Republican. You're going to take your money out of that company and invest in another company. Billionaires are not politically, not us the people. Exactly. Like, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Donald Trump, like, when was he a Republican? When was he conservative? On The Apprentice? No, Donald Trump, he was partying with Muhammad Ali, partying with Sean Diddy Combs. I said this. What makes you think Trump is nothing he's doing is Republican? What is Trump doing that's Republican? When we talk about the cabinet, when we talk about the Trump cabinet, I said Trump didn't pick Republicans. Trump picked Trumpsonians. He picked people who would support him and his ideas. Do you understand that the Republicans don't like Trump? This is why we had a split. That's why in the last week we had a split in the Republican Party, because most Republicans understand what you're saying, that truly Trump is not Republican or conservative or in the minutia on those type of issues. MAGA, that's why he created MAGA. For the intelligent people in the chat, that's why MAGA, just like the Tea Party, MAGA is set aside separate. Even Biden tried to call MAGA, a bad name. We're not going to say it because the algorithm doesn't like it. But Biden even tried to separate MAGA from Republicans and conservatives. Trump creates MAGA because he's not a traditional Republican and conservative. I agree with you. You think Republicans would do some of the things he's done? Republican presidents never fixed the tariffs. When I did my research on Japan paying 1%, Japan and the EU pay 1% going back 100 years. Republican presidents never gave a fuck about the tariffs. Republican and Democrats, people say all the time, part of the same bird. This is what's different about Trump. This is why 80 to 90% of the people voted for Trump. Trump is a billionaire. He has a Playboy wife. He doesn't have to be a politician. Okay, let's go there. He's not even a politician. Trump is not a Republican, or he's not even a politician. Come on. Shout out to the intelligent people in the chat, man. Y'all make an excellent point this morning. He's not a Republican. He's not even a politician, bro. And if you start thinking like that, you lose. You have to remember he's a billionaire. You have to remember his father was you have to understand that. You have to understand that to understand his leadership style. I've got black accountants at Trump Castle and at Trump Plaza. Black guys continuing counting my money. I hate it. The only kind of people I want counting my money are short guys wearing, oh my God, that's not even funny. And it's too long. If it's going to be a joke, it needs to be short and sweet to the point. It's not even funny. Let's get back to the tariffs, bro. But that was a great comment. Trump is not no Republican. He's not even a politician, bro. God, that was excellent. Thank you, chat. Y'all doing a great job this morning. Scott said, those are the only kind of people I want counting my money. Y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. Let's play another video. Because I talked to you about 1% versus 15%. Y'all want to hear some. This is Democratic propaganda. This is not my belief, but I just need you to hear the spin. Because this morning I told you about 1%. I told you about the correlation between the cost of eggs. I told you about everything. Now let's listen to Democratic spin. Because the Democrats are still trying to say that the tariffs are going to cost you money. But I showed you data where the tariffs are actually making you money. McDonald's has stagnated the $5 mini meal. Wages are going up. Prices are going down. But let's listen to some of this Democratic propaganda. We almost at 100 likes, y'all. We almost at 100 likes. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. My name is Perfect. Top of the mid-morning podcast from an OG perspective. Let's get it.
The village idiot Donald Trump announced today. We knew he was going to do this while he was on his golfing trip to Scotland. His epic trade deal.
It's not a golfing trip. It's a bilateral summit, and America will benefit.
With the European Union. In the deal, the U.S. will now pay U.S. consumers, you and me, will pay 15% on any goods.
So that's not actually true. When he says the EU will pay 15% on any goods, what he's saying is that now the EU has to pay 15%. What the Democrats the narrative the Democrats are trying to spin is that 15% will be passed on to you. So I need to explain to you the propaganda and the spin. This is how the Democrats have to lie. They can't even be honest. They're saying he's trying to interpret the 15% that the EU agreed to say that that's going to be passed on to you. But I just proved to you by the McDonald's mini meal and everything that's going on in the country that is not true. That when the EU had 1% tariffs, you had inflation. Let's go back to the propaganda. Yo, yeah, get excited in the chat, y'all. Get excited.
For steel and aluminum, which are still at a 50% tariff. And there may be increases in other things they said, like pharmaceuticals and semiconductors and other shit that might be more expensive for us that we import from the EU countries. But we do know that we'll pay a 15% tariff now on anything.
So Tyler's in the chat saying that tariffs will make everything go up. Obviously, you just now joined the podcast because I have been doing a bang-em-up job at disproving that. And one of the ways of disproving that is, let's talk to you directly, Tyler Potts, is that the fact that you suffered inflation, astronomical documented inflation under the last administration. The inflation under the last administration was so bad that it was documented. Eggs went up double digits. We paid double digits for eggs, and all over TikTok, you saw numerous TikTokers making jokes about going to the grocery store and coming home with one bag of groceries for $100. This was the reality under the last administration. We had inflation through the roof, high gas, high eggs, high food. But the truth about the inflation that you experienced under the last administration is that we had a 1% tariff. Are you listening? We had a 1% tariff with the EU. We had a 2% tariff with Japan. So when we had zero tariffs, That means there was zero taxes being passed on to the American consumer. You paid more money. Where did that money go? And why was it more money? See, today, eggs are cheaper, Tyler. Eggs are cheaper today, Tyler. You don't pay the same that you pay for eggs today, do you, Tyler? You don't. But the tariffs are higher. Make that make sense. If there is a correlation. If there is a correlation, Tyler, why are you paying less for your products and goods in 2025 than you did in 2024? If there's a correlation between tariffs in the aspect, in the math, in the Democratic math. See, the Democrats say that you should be paying more money now, but you're not. The $5 mini meal had to be extended, but McDonald's is paying $20 an hour. California made a law. McDonald's has to pay $20 an hour, but they had to extend the $5 mini meal. Let's go back to the propaganda.
We import from the European Union. That is up from a 1.2%. I just had to cross-check that to make sure I was giving that correctly. 1.2% tariff on average. When Biden was president, and pretty much every other president was president, U.S. consumers paid on average a 1.2% tax on everything, or most things that we import from the European Union. Now we're going to pay 15%. The media, you may see some media outlets, pro-Trump propaganda outlets, saying this was a big win. We went from 30% to 15%. That would be bullshit. That's the same thing they did when the Village Idiot announced the no-deal deal with Japan. The reason it's a no-deal deal with Japan is there was no agreement signed. Japan said this is not a binding agreement, aside from the fact it was a good deal for Japan and a shitty deal for the U.S. But the scam is Donald Trump threatened the European Union. We were currently paying a 10% tariff on the European Union, which was about 9% higher than we were paying under the previous administrations. We were paying a 10% tariff. That's what the Village Idiot announced on Liberation Day on April 2nd, the day he fucked up the economy fully and increased prices on American goods, on foreign goods coming into the U.S. for all of us. He subsequently threatened the EU with a 30% tariff if an agreement wasn't made by August 1st. So there never was a 30% tariff. So the Village Idiot didn't take us. When you see, propaganda, nonsensical news saying that we went from a 30% tariff and the Village Idiot negotiated us down to a 15% tariff, no, that is not true. That is a lie. There never was a 30% tariff. It would.
Can y'all hear me? Because the video, I can't get the video to work. Tell me, can you hear me? Let me check and see if I'm still live. Let me check and see. Can get the video to work? Tell me. All right. I'm still live, but the video is tripping. But let me let's go back to Bill Maher. So that was the propaganda. Let's listen to Bill Maher. We're not even gonna play the video. We're just gonna listen because I
remember along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Is that
the reality? This is the reality. The economy, to everybody in the chat saying eggs is $10 and everything, the economy is better. Eggs is cheaper. I know how much you hate Trump, but it's like you guys want to go back to Sleepy Joe. I want to know, would you rather have the Wizard of Oz? Would you rather have a president who had declining cognitive ability for the past 4 years and you not know who ran the country? Think about what you're actually suggesting. You did not know who was running the country. You still don't know who fired him. You still don't know because Biden did not want to drop out of the running for president. You don't know who fired him. You don't know who installed Kamala. You don't know who said we're not going to the convention. You don't know who hired Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion. You don't know who chose Tim Walz. You didn't want Tim Walz. You did not want Beyonce campaigning. You did not even want Kamala Harris, but you all on the pot, you all in the chat, you will lie and you will tell yourself that, yes, we wanted Kamala. Kamala is better when you never wanted Kamala. She never won a vote. And to this day, you can't tell me who decided for you. I said eggs are cheaper. Inflation is down. I don't understand how this is the idiocracy that we were talking about. These are the idiots. These are the blatant idiots. And the people in the chat obviously do not have children, do not pay rent, do not pay bills, obviously do not buy eggs. Obviously, we got the idiot section going on right now. Kamala the GOAT. I love that. Never had one vote. Kamala the GOAT never had one vote. Kamala the GOAT never had one vote. Kamala, it's okay with me. She's black now. It's okay if she wants to be black. I didn't know she was black. She wasn't black before, but if she wants to be black now, that's okay. I don't mind if she's black. I just wanted people to know that she's black now. She said she was black. I didn't know she was black. I've met Kamala. I like her. We met before. She's a nice person. I didn't know she was black, but she's black now. She's chosen to be black. First black president. I found that confusing, a little bit funny that she's black now. She wasn't black before, but she's black now. Kamala, black president, Kamala.
That's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty, because the truth is, I don't know what his strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everyone lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't.
And they didn't. Let's listen to that one more time because it sounds so beautiful. Don't you agree? Democrat Bill Maher gave Obama $1 million. Obama never even came to the show. Ain't so disrespectful. So all Bill Maher wanted was to interview Obama. He gave Obama $1 million to run for president. That's how much Bill Maher loves Obama. Can we listen to Bill Maher one more time explain to us his opinion, his excellent, because Democrats and American people only listen to fucking comedians. Comedians are the great political strategists right now. If you're a comedian, a hack comedian, you must know something about politics. So let's listen to Bill Maher, the wonderful Democratic comedian, talk about the truth about the Trump tariffs. Let's go, baby boy.
Sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. And I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, how do we deal with that fact?
How do we deal with that fact? Kamala is a great leader for the black community. I didn't know she was black. Did you fall out of a coconut tree? LaShawn, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? LaShawn, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? Kamala ain't black. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Ask LaShawn. It was a black coconut. Black on the outside, white on the inside. Oh my God. LaShawn fell out of a black coconut tree. Did you fall out of a coconut tree? Coconut tree? You're a coconut tree? She fell into the coconut tree. She fell into the coconut tree. Yeah, baby. Who was that? Brendan Ronan. Canela. Brendan said, breaking news, Biden ain't even. else Biden ain't? Biden ain't awake. Biden ain't alive. Biden ain't breathing. Biden ain't thinking. Cognitive ability. Oh, that was great. Oh, that was great. Because they knew half of America is illiterate and half of America don't know what cognitive mean. Cognitive decline. America thought they was talking about a cable channel. Biden been watching Cinemax. No, cognitive decline. Biden is going on vacation to the Congo. No, cognitive decline. What does that mean? Why they couldn't just tell us that he brain dead? That he why they couldn't just tell us he's unable to stay awake? He's Sleepy Joe. He can't think. He can't talk no more. They had to say cognitive decline. Oh my God. Cognitive decline. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Nancy. Good morning, Mr. Avery. How are you doing, Miss Nancy? I'm doing good, Miss Avery. How is old Papa Biden doing? Papa Biden is suffering from some cognitive decline. That's how you say it in polite society. In polite society. He just suffering. He's suffering from cognitive. What does that mean? He batshit crazy. He can't wipe his own ass. Oh man. But hey, this would happen when you got illiteracy rates, and they don't want to be honest about the truth about what's going on in the country. So they say things like cognitive decline when they know we got illiteracy rates in the 80%, 70% divorce rates, 80% illiteracy rates. How many people in the chat know what cognitive decline is? Do you have a adamant, functioning, progressive cognitive abilities? I would like to talk to T.I. and say, T.I., expeditiously, cognitively. I can't even say it. This shit, goddamn. I should have cut the camera off because I'm in here doing too much. I'm in here good. I can't tell you what I'm doing, but I'm having a good time. Expeditiously cognitivity. We having a good time this morning. We having a good time this morning. Woo! Take a pull. Cognitive abilities. Who possesses high cognitive ability? My dog has high cognitive ability. Oh, sleepy. Let's go, Brandon. Sleepy. Let's go, Brandon. Sleepy. Oh man, Scott, what did Scott say? Trump also suggested that evangelicals should not trust Ted Cruz because Cruz is Cuban and that Jeb Bush has to like Mexican illegals because of his wife, who is Mexican American. Yeah, that's kind of old. And he picked Cruz. Cruz is in his cabinet. Remember when he made that announcement about Iran? If you watch the show, I think you do, Scott. Remember, we talked about who was behind him. And you know what, Scott? That was actually, let's say, God bless America. God bless the chat. God bless everybody who's still here. Because, God be working on the channel and in the chat. And I want everybody to be blessed and have a great life and America to be great. I truly believe in these things. But that day was a great show because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know that in the coming weeks that the Democrats would try to sandbag the president with the Epstein conspiracy. But what we did know is that it was important to pay attention to who was supporting the president during that decision, because a lot of people were upset with the president bombing Iran. On this channel, we said that that was the great decision because the president, again, going back to not being a conservative Republican or Democrat, but being a great billionaire businessman, the president, we're lucky to have Donald Trump because as a billionaire businessman CEO, he knows how to be the bad guy. And what I talked about after the Iran bombing is, it's not easy being cheesy. Everybody wants to be a CEO. right? Everybody wants to be rich, but when you're the boss and you're responsible, you have to make the hard decisions. And sometimes the workers, the employees, and the people get hurt, but sometimes they have to get hurt so we don't lose the entire company, right? And so I have to make the bad decision. I have to be the bad guy sometimes. And this is why certain people do not fare well in business, and certain people who have a big heart close down their companies. They close down. You'd be like, man, that was a great restaurant. Why did they close? They weren't good at business. They couldn't make the hard decision. They couldn't fire 3 people in order for the business to remain profitable. You know, they had great staff and they felt bad about firing 3 people, but somebody came in, they did an assessment of the business and said, you can be a profitable restaurant, but you have to fire 3 people. You understand what I'm saying? This is the Department of Education. This is the Doge. This is the federal cutbacks, and this is the Iran bombing. When we had the Iran bombing, what I said was Trump had to be the bad guy. He had to make the hard decision so that Americans and the rest of the world was reminded on who America was. See, during the last administration, there was a lot of scared people because the Democrats rule from fear. The Democrats had you scared. They had prices high. They had gas high. They had you terrified of conflict across the board, right? Multiple conflicts were allowed to proliferate under the last administration. Trump has only been in office 6 months. All of these things started in the last 4 years and they never were stopped. Trump has had multiple summits. He's met with Bibi Netanyahu 3 times. He put Zelensky in check within the first 30 days. The last administration did nothing. The last administration let these issues exacerbate. Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Iran, Gaza, Hamas all got larger, bigger under the last administration. People wanted Trump to fix everything overnight. They wanted Trump to fix everything overnight. And I believe it's obvious that he's done a great job so far. I mean, when you talk about trade deals, anybody working business, anybody working corporate America, anybody ever been involved with a multi-billion-dollar deal and how long it takes? We're talking about $550 billion being invested in America by Japan, 600 billion by the EU, a bilateral summit happening today in Scotland. The Democrats want to spin it as a golf trip. But they're not talking about the fact that under Biden, they paid 1% tariffs. And now they're going to pay 15 to 25% tariffs and how that benefits the American people. Like, come on, man. Like, we got to talk about the reality of what's going on. That's why Bill Maher had to be honest. That's why Bill Maher had to be honest. Who was controlling the world under your guy, and how do you benefit under my guy? We were getting shafted before these deals. I did a lot of research this morning, man. I did a lot of research this morning. I said Trump tariffs are working. Let me read to you what AI said. Let me see if my camera come back. I lost the camera. I don't know why I lost the camera. I don't know why I lost the camera, but check this out. It says some argue that Trump tariffs have had a positive impact on U.S. economy, while others disagree and cite evidence of negative consequences. To those who believe tariffs are working, manufacturing, steel production, reports suggest that tariffs have led to modest increase in U.S. manufacturing and steel production by making imported goods less competitive. Reduced imports. A 2023 report shows that U.S. International Trade Commission found that tariffs on China reduced imports of certain goods, leading to increased U.S. production of goods. That's why I gave the example of the oyster blender and the irons and the toasters that our grandmothers purchased that lasted 20, 30 years versus Chinese disposable goods, $5 irons from Walmart that have to be purchased every year. Right now, we're seeing the benefits. Right, this is what I researched today before today's podcast, just to keep you going. Now, Japan agreed to a 15% tariff. Recent developments in trade relations between US and Japan, particularly under the Trump administration, indicate a complex and evolving situation regarding tariffs and their impact. The Japanese satisfaction with the trade agreement, particularly the reduction of tariffs on Japanese automobiles and goods from the threatened 25% to 15%. So the Japanese are happy that they have agreed to 15% tariffs because Trump threatened 25%. And again, remember, they were only paying 1% under Biden. And something 0% tariffs. They were able to sell goods on the American bloc for free. Perspectives on the deal effectiveness. So check this out. Key points. Tariff reduction. A major aspect of the recent trade agreement is the reduction on tariffs on Japanese automobiles and other imports to 15%, lower than the previous 25% threat. This reduction in exchange for concessions from Japan is seen as some positive outcome for Japan's auto industry. 550 billion investment. Japan has agreed to a significant investment of $550 billion in the United States, according to the White House. The details of the implementation of this investment are still being discussed and debated, but some see it potentially as an impactful initiative for U.S. industries and job creation. The agreement aims to increase market access. Excuse me. The agreement aims to increase market access for American exports to Japan, particularly in agriculture. I'm in California. We grow 80%, 90% of the world's greens, fruit. So this means a lot to us. Japan has also agreed to lift restrictions on U.S. cars and trucks, granting American automakers greater access to the Japanese consumer market. This never occurred before. Right? We were paying, this is what Trump campaigned on, that they were able to sell cars here for free with no hindrance. The problem was that American companies did not have the same luxury when going to Japan and EU. When American companies attempted to sell goods in Japan and EU, they faced steep tariffs and legislation. Now, it's not just the tariffs that need to be addressed in the agreement, but you need to understand, like the Epstein story, that the tariffs is what moves the needle when it comes to the media, and they want clicks and they want views. So the reason you hear tariff is that's what gets clicks, that's what gives views. But these trade deals, listen to what I'm saying to you this morning. These trade deals are far more complex than just the tariffs. Brandon Rona said, nah, homie, think about it critically. If there were Epstein, oh my God, they on the Epstein. Scott, when reading that 40,000 person had visited Nigeria, he said that after seeing America, the Nigerians would never go back to huts. Good point. Bro protecting PDF5. What is you talking about, LaShawn? Let's get back to the information. What was the Japan tariff before Trump? So now we're talking about the Trump trade deal in Japan. $550 billion invested. They agreed to a 15% tariff, right? Trump threatened 25% tariff. So naturally, I wanted to know, I did my research. What was the tariff before the Trump trade deal with Japan? Let's read. I want you guys to listen and comment. Let's read. Before the recent agreement under the Trump administration, the effective U.S. tariff rate on Japanese imports was generally less than 2%. According to the World Bank data, the average applied to tariffs across the board was less than 2%, 1.6%. The Japan paid nothing. Japan had free reign in the American market. How many people knew that? As the Democratic liberal media tries to scare you. Again, the Democrats lead from fear as they try to scare you about tariffs without explaining to you the correlation between tariffs and inflation, because tariffs were 1% under Biden, but you paid more. Inflation was skyrocketing under Biden, but the tariffs were lower. So they won't explain that to you, right? And the Democrats, liberal media won't explain to you why it was 1.6%, right? And now under Trump negotiated 15%. 15, Japan has to pay more money to sell on our block. You know what that's led to? It's led to less things being brought into America being made by Japanese companies. Now, the Democrats want to scare you and say you're going to lose. Yes, you're going to lose. But as America, you know what you got to do? You're going to have to be have ingenuity like old school Americans, and you're going to have to create opportunity for yourself. So Japan and China, yes, they will say it's not worth it to sell certain things in America. That will force Americans to create those goods themselves, and that will produce jobs and boost the economy. It's already happening. Steel production is going up. Why is steel and manufacturing going up in America? Because Americans now are forced to build and manufacture their own goods. So plants are popping up. Fabricating shops are popping up. We're doing our own fabrication now. We're doing our own building now. What's the great American pastime? Everybody's building a car, building a bike, building a new invention. That necessity is the mother of invention. That's another part of the tariff that they do not talk to you about. The tariff is a tool of leadership. How do we get Americans to be productive again? To bring back that ingenuity that Americans had that made America great, MAGA. What do we do now when we increase tariffs? And now we put these companies on their heels, and we put Americans in the position where you have to produce. And I like the strategy. I like where we're going as a country. Higher tariffs could make imported goods less competitive compared to domestically produced goods. Can you hear that? It says protecting domestic industries. See, this is the aspect that the liberal media doesn't talk to you about and the real effects of the Trump tariffs. It says protecting domestic industries. Now, this is why we love Trump. This is why we voted for Trump, because MAGA and Make America Great Again is about those down home American companies in middle America, those small businesses that keep America thriving, that employ most of America. Without America's small businesses, we don't have America. So the tariffs benefit small businesses. Rarely do you hear from a small business owner, but I played you video from a small business owner who was voting for Trump and who was pro-Trump tariffs because he understood. Now, think about that small business owner. He was making a version of a Zippo lighter, right? Made in America. Now, not only will he be able to sell that Zippo lighter in America because he'll have less competition, right? Because China and Japan will less have the need, because it won't profit them to ship in small things like Zippo lighters at the cost. So now he'll make the Zippo lighter, sell to America. But if someone in Japan who loves American nostalgia, it's still Western society, it's still the most popular society on the globe. If you want that denim jacket, if you want that Zippo lighter, if you want that Americana, you're going to have to come to America. Because what had happened over the past 50 years is that people in Paris, people in Italy, people in Africa who wanted denim like Levi's, who wanted Americana like Zippo, who wanted things that were created and made here in America, went to China. They got them knockoffs from China. They got knockoff denim. They got knockoff Americana. They got knockoff versions of American nostalgia from China and Japan. When before, if you wanted something like James Dean had a Harley Davidson, if you wanted an American muscle, you had to come to America. Right? And those things were expensive to get them in Japan. If you wanted a Harley Davidson in Japan, if you wanted Levi's in Japan, which became highly popular, that's how you have Japanese denim. That's why I'm bringing up Levi's denim. That's why I'm bringing up Harley Davidsons, because they took over the bike culture with Kawasaki, because they fell in love with America. And then people around the world who wanted that same Americana stopped coming to America for it. And instead, America produced, well, we talked about what America became. America became the police. The reason why these goods were able to move so fast across the globe is because America became the police of the world. That's what our job has been over the past 50 years. While we farmed out production, we began to police the world. So when you hear about the number of aircraft carriers, the number of jet planes, it's because that was our job. We no longer produce goods. We farmed out that job to Japan and China, and then to make sure the goods got here quickly and cheaply, that we charged them 1%. 1%, basically, they got over here for free, and they got over here fast because we policed the waters. So piracy went down. We don't understand how piracy was the rule of the day, how mafias and global families controlled the ports and controlled the canals. What did Trump talk about when he came on board? The Panama Canal. Trump talked about who controlled the Panama Canal, who built the Panama Canal. Do you know how China has positioned themselves in the Panama Canal? It's because of trade. The Suez Canal, when we were bombing Iran, what were people worried about? The Straits of Hormuz, that trade route. They said your goods would go up because Trump bombing. Now, you know how many people knew about that trade route, the Hormuz? Have you ever heard of it since then? This is how Democrats scare you. They scare you but don't educate you. They say your product, just like today, everybody, oh, the prices will go up. You don't know what you're talking about. I know you don't because you haven't done the research that I've done. You don't know these numbers. You don't know the investment. You don't know the extent of the trade deal. So what about the Straits of Hormuz and the Iran bombing that was supposed to make my goods go up? I don't hear Democratic liberal media educating me on that strategic, most important pathway. And well, you know what I said? Well, why is it, if it's so important, who keeps it safe? If it's in threat of being safe, whose job is it to make sure that it stays safe? America. See, Democrats didn't say that. Democrats didn't say that when they were scaring Americans. Why is it that shipping and everything that moves around the globe moves around the way it does? It's because America protects the ports. America protects the waters. Y'all didn't know how the world worked? See, the Democrat liberal media is not explaining to you the actual ins and outs of how the world works, or how it worked previously before the changes that Trump is implementing, and how the people who benefited from the previous world, this is a world, this is a whole entire economy. They're upset, they're afraid, they don't want the change. They benefited from the way the world was structured before Clinton, the Clinton mafia, the Democratic liberal elites that I told you about versus the working class. That's why the Democratic Party moves in the way that it moves. You should be wondering, like, if I'm a working class person, why do Democrats make the decisions that they make with NAFTA and the Clintons and the things that they do to benefit rich and powerful people? The Democrats are supposed to benefit the people. Why aren't the Democrats negotiating tariffs? Well, I played for you a video where Nancy Pelosi did negotiate tariffs before the Democratic Party was taken over by the Democratic elites. Did y'all know that? Damn, I wish if I had that video right now. But I can't even play video, so I'm not going to look for it. But I had a video of Nancy Pelosi. How many people saw that video? Nancy Pelosi in the 90s, because she's been in office way too long. We need term limits. But Nancy Pelosi was in the office, and she was explaining, not just advocating, but like me, like Perfect Timing Podcast, she was not just advocating for tariffs, but she took the time out to explain to Congress and to her constituents how the tariffs benefit you as Americans. And you would listen to this and be like, no, it got to be AI. But it wasn't. But it wasn't. In 1996, this is 1996, it's not AI.
Relates to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of you each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%.
Didn't I say that? 2%, 96. How long have they not paid anything?
Whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%.
So they paid nothing and we paid 35%. Going back to 1996, this is why China is a rich country and Japan is a rich country. For the past 50 years, we've been paying a 35%, but they want to scare you. Democrats want to scare you. Oh, they're going to pass on the cost to you. This is your Democrat Nancy Pelosi in 96 before the Democratic Party was co-opted by socialist elites. Let's talk about it.
Is that reciprocal? On exports, China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we have not placed any restrictions.
So China not only charges us a higher tariff, but limits what can be sold because, you know, China is socialist and communist. They don't want westernized ideas in their country. So everything that we make here can't be sold in China because it will change the ideas of the Chinese. So China only lets in, because think about it, they got a different version of TikTok. They got this, they got ByteDance, they got different versions of everything. So China only allows 2% of American goods to be sold, but America, we let them sell everything. Listen.
In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president in his statement requesting this special waiver said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. The fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser. And one of the reasons that it is because well, first let me just make another point.
This is Nancy Pelosi in 1996. U.S. and China trade is a job loser. I said, do you remember when Walmart came to your town? I've been talking to you. We showed the oyster blender, $125, glass receptacle, steel bottom. It was a rope extension cord. I talked to you about the Kirby vacuum cleaner. It costs $1,000, lifetime warranty. One of the people watching said his boss still has a Kirby vacuum cleaner. The China-U.S. trade deficit was a job killer and killed American wages. You know what's strange about this argument from Nancy Pelosi about being 1996? And when your host says, do you remember when Walmart came to your town? Because Walmart came to your town around the same time. Isn't that eerily spooky and scary? Walmart came to your town the same time as Bill Clinton, NAFTA, and the Chinese took over. Walmart came to your town with cheap goods, with these tariffs and this poor trade deal that was negotiated by the Democrats. This is the reality that we have been living in. Walmart drove down prices, and the Democrat liberal media keeps scaring you saying prices will go up. I'm okay with paying more for a toaster. I'm okay. People in the chat, are you okay with not buying a $5 toaster anymore if it's made in America and my son's wages go up? I'm okay with China no longer selling me toasters that are going to break in 6 months and go into a landfill. I don't need it. I don't need your vacuum that breaks. Aren't you tired of vacuums that break every freaking 6 months? I hate it, bro. I like to keep a clean house. It's impossible. We buy Dyson for $500, but the Dyson ain't shit. All the vacuums break. Everything is disposable, and Americans haven't said enough. There's more to this tariff thing. There's more to this tariff thing. There's more to this tariff thing. And I know Gen Z and Gen AI, you guys have never seen some of these things. When I talk about an iron that costs $100, when I talk about the oyster blender, when I talk about the oyster toaster and these appliances that our grandmothers had that lasted a lifetime, people still use today. If you go to a garage sale in a nice community, you might pick up an oyster blender with a glass. If you go to the Goodwill, you might pick up an oyster toaster. Your uncle who was in prison might be able to fix it. And guess what? It'll be the best toaster you ever had. And it still works. Won't run up your Con Edison, won't run up your PG&E bill. Let's finish listening to Nancy Pelosi. Oh, come on, you guys.
And that is that our colleagues on the other side of this issue will say the trade with China, exports to China have increased 3 times in the last 10 years. They have. But they fail to mention that imports from China have increased 11 times, thereby leading to this huge trade deficit. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on.
How about we create those things here in America, LaShawn? Because part of the Japan deal is Mrs. Perfect Timing said, hi, hey, baby, I saw your call. Miss Perfect Timing, you know about the Taiwan semiconductor company that's spending $1 billion in Arizona right now. And semiconductors, we talked about this because I got family in Arizona and I follow things like quantum computers and the actual chips. So you're not just talking about computer chips, you're talking about semiconductor chips, you're talking about Web3, you're talking about AI, you're talking about crypto. You're talking about a lot of things when you say computer chips. This is what the Democrats do. They try to dumb down the conversation. It's not computer chips. It's not as simple as computer chips. You wish it was. No, we're talking about Web3. We're talking about quantum computing. We're talking about AI, and we're talking about semiconductors. We're talking about the type of facilities needed to build these type of super chips. You know what I'm saying? I got people, and they're asking me, people I mentor, and it's like, what are the jobs to go into? Well, HVAC, people know HVAC is going to be great in the future, but they don't know why HVAC. HVAC is going to be needed in these plants to create and build these semiconductor chips that have to be built in lab-like quality. So you have to have these rooms that have air compression to where no air is in the rooms, so no lint or anything gets on the, and that's done by the HVAC systems that are being set up. And I know this because I know the people who are building these plants, and I know a lot about this from my actual life and what I do for a living. And when you talk about the trade deal and you talk about the semiconductor chips that we're actually talking about, we're not talking about just blanket computer chips. We're talking about Web 3.0 and cryptocurrency. We're talking about the next iteration of life for human beings. That's what we're talking about. And number one, you need to understand it's not going to happen in China. The most advanced plants are now in Mexico, and the most advanced plant workers are now Mexicans, not Chinese. And what the Trump tariffs will do is assure, because this is the race. This is a race for the future. This is not about Democrat, Republican. This is about our children. Those things need to be made here. These advances, and for example, just to quantify what I'm saying, before I get up out of here, let's use Tesla for an example. Liberal policies in California led Elon Musk to leave California and build his new technology in Texas. So Texas youth will benefit from SpaceX and benefit from Tesla production being in Texas. And that could have been Northern California youth. Our youth would have been more intelligent, been more forward. And the next Tesla iteration, Elon Musk, would have maybe been built in California if that Tesla plant would have been successful. But now, whatever Elon Musk generates next is going to be built in Texas. We lose. The people of California lose. So the tariffs, the goal is to not be California, to not have the semiconductor plants build in Taiwan or Indonesia. The goal is to have them built in Arizona by American kids. So American kids know and really get on board with Web 3, because this is a conversation that they're using Apple iPhone 16, but they don't really understand Web 3. They don't understand crypto and how, why, the technology behind crypto is what everybody wants, and how you need supercomputers to keep this thing going. Like, we need that understanding here with our youth. And they're dealing with illiteracy rates. They're dealing with divorce. They're dealing with trolls in the chat. People trying to dumb down the conversation about tariffs and the benefits. That's why I played Nancy Pelosi. Do you know about the plant in Arizona? Do you know about the semiconductor? Do you know about the Taiwan semiconductor company who invested in Arizona? Do you know about the future? Do you know how these tariffs will benefit and force American ingenuity and for these innovations to be created here again? What did they say about Japan? What did they say about this Japan deal? Because I talked about the semiconductor. I talked about the chips when I did my research. I'm not able to find it right now. But I'm glad you brought that up. Because that's a good point. But people don't understand. They just want to be upset. We had a great show today, man. What I want to show the EU. Check this out, y'all.
150 billion. So those things are 750 billion, 600 billion, opening up the country. We are agreeing that the tariff straight across for automobiles and everything else will be a straight across tariff of 15%. So we have a tariff of 15%. We have the opening up of all of the European countries, which I think I could say were essentially closed. I mean, you weren't exactly taking our autos, you weren't exactly taking our agriculture, and then you would have smaller things, but for the most part it was closed. And now it's open. It's open for our companies to go in and do a good job with it. I think you'll like them. I think you'll like it.
Facts. Facts.
A 15% tariff rate for the EU.
Better meaning lower?
Yeah.
No. Mr. President,
Mr. Trump, can you do better than a 15% tariff rate for the EU?
better meaning lower?
Yeah.
No.
No. No.
Okay. Is it stradivarium loco? Stradivarium crazy?
I just want to say, man, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everybody who hit the like button. We got 110 likes. Means everything to a content creator. Everybody watching right now, hit the like button. Use the 3 ellipses in the top right-hand corner. If you don't know how to hit the like button, if you're watching me on a cell phone, hit the 3 ellipses in the top right-hand corner. That will allow you to like or dislike the video. You can like or dislike. While you're there, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we live. We will be live tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. It's 11 a.m. and it's top of the mid-morning podcast from my OG perspective. I expect to see you all there around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come in, be prepared to argue, be prepared to debate, get your facts. As tonight, go do your research, question the facts that you learned here today. Come prepared. I will have shorts and clips from today's podcast. So if there's anything you missed, a lot of people came and watched at the end of the podcast. What you want to do is you can go to my channel, subscribe. You can watch previous podcasts to go deeper in depth about our perspective that we had today. Also, you can watch the short feed, which is awesome. The short feed is awesome. I mean, it's action-packed, shorts. So many shorts and memberships. Oh my God, memberships. So many privileges come with memberships. There's certain videos that only members can see that, some of the content today, they said I was going crazy today, but there's even more crazier, ludicrous, just out there content that could only be on the members channel. So I need you guys to become members, gift memberships, watch the members only content. Shout out to Kaylin, shout out to YouTube, the community, the creator community that's been teaching us and keeping us and preaching us and showing us all the great aspects of live streaming vertically and horizontally. I've learned so much. So everybody just go over to my channel, check out the shorts feed. You're going to be amazed by the shorts feed. You're going to be able to just doom scroll for the next 30, 40 minutes, just short, just all the content, all the live stream content, Perfect Timing Podcast. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. See you tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.